Alright, so we're playing what I almost feel like could be classified as an old favorite at this point. This was a deck that I was playing before Call of the Mountain released. And with Call of the Mountain, the only new card I've got in here is a couple copies of Troll Chant as a combat trick. So this is a tempo deck based around one of the probably most powerful tempo champions in the game. 2-1 for 1. When you cast a spell, stop all enemy spells and skills targeting me, and give me elusive. So it can only be blocked by other elusive units. So a good way to get through inside of combat. Levels up when you've cast 6+ spells. His leveled mode's a little bit bigger. Keeps that protection / evasion. And also creates this chum in the water spells, which lets you make some sharks to help you control the board a little bit while you finish the game out. This is basically an elusive aggro deck. So we've got Golden Narwhal. We've got Zap Sprayfin, my lovely desktop background. We've got some Slippery Wave Riders. And then we've got things like Shared Spoils to get to them more consistently and make them bigger. We've got Starlit Seer to grow them up. We've got Omen Hawks. And then we have a bunch of cheap spells, you know, like Warning Shots, Brittle Steels, and stuff like that to help level Fizz up. Twisted Fate is present here, but this isn't a deck that really turbo levels Twisted Fate. We're playing him as mostly a value card, so he's a 2/2 quick attack for 4 that when you play him, you get to play a Destiny card. So he either gives you a spell mana back and draws a card, deals 1 to the opponent and all their stuff, or stuns their largest thing and deals 2 to it. So Twisted will occasionally level up, but most of the time he's just in here as like a good quality on-rate champion that can help us control the board so we can race a little bit better. Stunning their largest thing can often be the difference between winning and losing a race. So let's go ahead and dive into some games with this and see how it goes. Someone asked about the upcoming Magic deck. You can always find upcoming deck lists in the deck queue on my website. The things that we're playing today should all basically always be linked up there. Fizz in the opener sounds great. Opponent's playing Runeterra. This is actually a pretty rough beat. Braum is pretty obnoxiously good against us. Mulligan Harsh Winds. Full mulligan the rest of these, looking for some other threats. They're playing Freljord Targan, so they probably don't have a lot of cheap removal. It's a good hand. We're attacking on evens, so we'll get to play Fizz here on their attack turn. We'll get the token. I'll get to play Starlit Seer and then get in there. Thanks, Of Slabs. Yeah, I always try and do my schedule a week out, and then I always try to have the deck list posted the day before.
Nothing escapes my watch.
So, obviously, I don't want Fizz to run into this, so I think we're going to go ahead and Warning Shot their Dome here. It triggers Starlit Seer and gets Fizz that elusive, so we get to get in for 2 more here. So, Starlit Seer here grants the top ally in our deck +1/+1 permanently. Grant means it's a permanent modifier every time we cast a spell while he's out. Saint Whiskey Jarvis, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Yeah, that's fine. So, just banking spell mana here. That's Zap. Alright, so Zap attunes when it comes into play, which means that it gives us a spell mana back. That being said, I already have 3 spell mana, so if I play Zap right now, I kind of lose his attune ability. So I think I'm going to start the turn by saying Warning Shot your face, which triggers this and this, and gives us Plunder for this. So Shared Spoils here gives the top 3 units in our deck bigger, and then draws one of them. And hey, that's a big Zap, so we'll play the bigger Zap then, I guess.
Can't say no to Fizz.
Can't say no to Fizz. So now we've got 6 power worth of elusives here. Opponent is playing Targan, so they could be a Hush deck. That being said, especially with this draw here, even if they had Hush, we have pretty decent attacks this turn. So we get to get in for 6 here, and then hopefully we're going to get ourselves set up to deal lethal next turn. Hey, afternoon Hex. Thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Crystallizing. To protect all. Never submit.
So, Tarek here, whenever he supports his ally, he recasts the last thing cast on him. So he got a +3/+3, and then this also gets +3/+3 now. I have to decide if I want to take some hits here or not. So this is 9/11. I probably want to block... If I put... I don't think I want to block this, and they get to draw a card, and I want them to have as few draws towards Hush as possible, I think. So I think the play here is Starlit Seer, block here, and then Troll Chant. Although I guess I could use Troll Chant to keep my Dorks alive next turn. That's close.
Fly away while you can.
Just gonna throw Starlit Seer away here, I think. I think at this point we probably have enough things in hand that we're gonna try and win this game with. So this is 8, 9, 10. This is technically lethal as is, but I think I want to play Zap. I'm going to go ahead and Brittle Steel here to start because I need to play a spell to get Fizz elusive anyways. And again, if I don't use a spell mana before I attune, I just lose the attune basically.
Can't say no to Fizz.
Can't say no to Fizz. So if they Hush here, they can wipe elusive off 2 of my things.
Fade and be gone.
So I can... We can save one of my Dorks here. Do I want to level Fizz before damage to push an extra point of damage? I think I do. I think I'm just going to pick a card, the Brittle Steel here. It's my favorite Runeterra deck these days. I think Diana Vi or Lux Ash. If you look up on my website, I added a Runeterra decks page up there a little bit ago. I think there's 5 decks up there right now that I like. Alright, so the goal here is to survive this turn whilst, Harshwind's actually a good one to survive with. Survive this turn whilst, while being able to kill them next turn. So these are all fleeting. So these are not going to be able to do anything this turn. Or if I don't use them this turn, they're not going to get to do anything. So I have to decide here, do I want to hold up Harsh Winds, or do I want to Starlit Seer so I can Troll Chant? So this is going to cast Zenith Blade over on here. Having Starlit Seer in play is better in the event that we can't kill them next turn. Harsh Winds is probably a little bit safer, though. I'm just passing. I think I'm going to play into Harsh Winds.
Shatter them.
First we fight. In Avarosa's name. We should be friends.
So they'll do this. This will get +1/+2 permanently. I'll get to put my 4/4 in front of here, and I'll put my 3/2 in front of here, and we'll Harsh Winds both of these. They're out of resources.
Have fun.
Sure. That doesn't really matter.
Have you met my shield?
So that one's good because now I can't kill their 4/4 inside of combat, which is sad.
Live here.
So those lose attack, which means these are free eats here and here. Unfortunate that I only got to use one card from my pick a card, but...
It is easy, see?
That is actually potentially lethal through a Hush, right? So I get to go ahead and Elixir of Iron here just to make him elusive, and then we'll attack for 10. Because they only have 8 mana, so they can only Hush 2 things here. So if they Hush 2 of my elusives, will Playful Trickster one of the ones that they're blocking, and then that'll give us another attack with the one that's still elusive after getting hushed.
There is nowhere left to go but up.
Nope, chat's on stream. Chat's just a little quiet this morning. Still in the
The
AM.
fight never ends.
Opponent is super duper dead. That's about how our games tend to go with this deck. I haven't played this one a ton this season, but I liked it a lot last season. A lot of really good race situations like that, where using your health total as a bit of a resource in conjunction with your frostbites on your opponent's board to sneak in damage with your elusives. Reddit assures me that Fizz auto loses a target and this must have been a mistake. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I sat there and talked about points where they had Hush and lines we could take to play around it to beat the Hush. Right? Just like, yeah. Marn and Elvish Rage. Yeah, Runeterra is going to be live at the very start of each stream this week. I think my plan, and I mentioned this last night, I think my plan is to shuffle my schedule around a little bit each week, so have each week be consistent on which type of content I'm putting in each slot, but then rotate it. So I think next week I'll put Runeterra into my evening slots. Lux Orient Soul. I think I'm going to keep Zap, just to have at least one threat guaranteed when he's a little slow, while mulligan the rest of these looking for Fizz and like Golden Narwhal, cheap threats. So Narwhal here is a really good rate. It is a 2/3 for 2 with elusive, but it's also vulnerable, so people can force it to block.
Devotion through battle.
Yeah, my children are back in school now, so my days of the week have a little bit more structure to them again. They're playing Lux Orient Soul, so don't have to worry about Leona stunning our units, which is great. Brittle Steel actually really good in conjunction with Narwhal, because like for example, next turn, if they use this to force one of these to block it, we can Brittle Steel their thing and kill it. Saint Whiskey Jarvis, thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. Biden Harris 2020. Excellent gameplay while making fascists feel uncomfortable. It's what we do. It's a good healthy mix. Maybe we can have a country where I feel comfortable going outside again sometime in the next year. Oh, did our opponent DC? That's unfortunate. Sometimes real life gets in the way of the games. Who's a good little frog? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. a shame. Our hand was real good here.
Like a fish in water.
So I tried Lee Sin after the rework. We played a Lee Sin variation 2 days ago, and Lee Sin himself felt good, but the shell we played wasn't fantastic. It is quite literally the first thing in my bio. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Doug Doolittle. Also, like, I feel like even if you're like ending up on my YouTube videos instead of that, like in a way, one part of the reason why I put the banner up there is to chase those types of people out. Genuinely believe that the types of people that are willing to support Trump still in 2020 are the types of people that will make your online communities worse, because the people that are willing to tolerate and support that type of hate tend to be a very certain type of person. And they're ones that I'm fine with having them walk into Hoaglandia, see the banner, and then turn around and leave.
Remember my words.
Board and Waffle. I can lead on Starlit Seer here.
A little luck for those who need it.
More in Full Metal.
These eyes see all.
So a question here is, if I attack with this, am I willing to trade Elixir for a Pale Cascade? I think the answer is yes. If they want to block here and try and kill this. It is a Robotic Dinosaur Guardian. Speaking of Lee Sin, but I'm playing Tarek Lee Sin here.
Extend your senses.
Just gonna go ahead and pass. I assume they're gonna attack here with Lee Sin. They've got some outrageous gems.
Sapphire, gem of our divine faith.
Prepare yourself.
Go ahead and save this and make my top thing a little bit bigger for now. Pre-order an X series. What's an X series for the ignorant?
Conflict is all in the
Do I want to salvage this turn? Probably not. I think I need to play an elusive. Oh, the new Xbox. Got
Go
you.
with the flow.
So the resource efficiency on Brittle Steel is very nice, but I wonder if this format right now is at a point where I'd prefer
I spoke your name, but
Or I'd prefer some flash freeze, I think. What do we think of that? I feel like having a more expensive one that can tag larger things is probably pretty useful.
Our enemies cannot hide.
Shatter them.
My lands need me. Center your spirit.
heed the path.
I will not hold back. Yeah!
Unyielding.
Yeah, like imagine this is a what's it called here? So they have 2 mana, so I can Troll Chant this here. So this will go down to 4, and this will go up to 6, so we'll get to survive there. We will get to Brittle Steel here to save the Narwhal at least. And then we might have them dead next turn.
Like a fish in water.
What's the punish if I don't open on attacks next turn? So, like, obviously I'm playing Narwhal here. I'm gonna use the rope to think for a second. Is there a reason to not play Zap out before I go to attacks? Hey, thank you for the 21 months, Tower Knight. I'm from the Midwest, Mako Gregor, center of the United States. Steel is good against the Fiora deck. It's like fine, but like if they have any sort of pump for her, Flash Freeze is probably better there too. They have any invokes? No, not usually. Oh, they haven't. No, they haven't invoked at all this game. So there's no common or anything like that. I think I'm supposed to zap here. They have 9 mana available, which is triple Hush. I think this is an instance where we're probably going to struggle to beat Hush. But definitely just hit running in here. Guiding Touch is a great start for us. Gosh, we're so close. Are they going to 1? They're going to 1, right? So I have a bunch of warning shots in my deck here. So we're definitely going to pick a card and try and dig for those here. So I think we go Starlit Seer into pick a card here. We'll put the shared spoils back, and then we get 6 looks at a warning shot next turn, assuming they don't have another guiding touch.
We see through all. Blessed by snow and stars.
That's unfortunate. So, would like to draw Harsh Winds here now. If they have a way to give this Overwhelm, we're probably dead.
Our enemies cannot hide.
I am the protector of the mountain.
I'll see this through.
We must protect the peak.
I will dispatch the unworthy.
We must protect the peak.
I will dispatch the unworthy.
Are we unworthy, chat? Are we unworthy? I'm not worthy. Flaming Swag, thanks for the entire year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So we didn't find... These are actually pretty good pickups. We didn't find Flash Freezes. We didn't find any Frostbite type things, but these are pretty okay for not dying to these Overwhelms at least.
Judgment awaits. ruffle our feathers.
Let's not ruffle our feathers.
This will be a good winter.
Now I have to decide how exactly I want to save my stuff here and what else I want to block. So, like, do I save this? I can't beat Hush next turn regardless. I feel like I'm supposed to just Elixir here, so I'm going to 4, so that way I'm not dead to Pale Cascade.
Blessed by snow and stars.
I think 1 Pale Cascade is the card. You always respond to Pale Cascade. Yeah, but I want to play it to get the +1/+1 in before this dies, so... Not dying to Twin Disciples, also good. 1 and 0 are different numbers. Hey, can't beat Hush.
Conflict is all in the mind.
They are tripping shit. Razor thin. By this much. Alright, let's get some flash freezes in here. I think the way the metagame has gone, that's probably better than what I've got at the moment. Three brittle steels. Get down to 1 of those. Wonder if Fury's a card that's still good. It's only 3 extra attack. Maybe I just cut the brittle steels and swap them in for the flash freezes. That's probably the exchange. Pulls the curve up a little bit, but actually don't have that many 3s, huh? Down to the wire, chat. Did you really win if you didn't use 19 points of health as a resource? Asking the real questions. Hey! Immediately rewarded for some flash freezes. That being said, this matchup's probably incredibly hard for us. Maybe I'm supposed to keep Troll Chant. I don't know, I need to mulligan for some threats. So, their champion here is one of the alt win cons ones. She levels when she's killed 2 enemies. And then her leveled mode says, when I've killed 4 things and survived, you win the game. And she has Challenger to force things to block her. So their deck is basically a Protect the Queen deck. That just, like, has a bunch of cards to keep Fiora alive. And they play Fiora as their only champion, because there's a Freljord card called Entreat. That lets you... There's a Freljord card called Entreat that lets you draw a champion out of your deck. So by only playing Fiora, they basically have 6 virtual copies of her. Really unfortunate they don't have a 2 or a 3 here. Mulliganing into 4s and 5s feels real bad. Fizz! There's that Entreat, finding them a Fiora.
By my honor, you must die.
You must die. Tradesies? Question mark?
I'm never.
On guard.
Alright, I almost assuredly have
Round or two.
some kind of protection spell here, but we're gonna have to start working through those.
Nothing to hold me back.
Yep. We just Wave Rider here. Opponent played a standalone, which gives their ally +3/+3 permanently if they play have exactly one thing in play. Am I supposed to attack like this to flash freeze if they block? I think so.
Such unrefined style.
Soldier Sui, thank you for the 32 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Neener, neener.
Finest blades for my
I need only one to win. Strike quickly, strike try me. Your move.
Yeah, like I said when we queued in, this match is gonna be really hard. Their deck thrives on beating up small unit decks. And that is most definitely what we are.
Keep up, keep up.
Amazon could be having problems activating Prime Gaming. Try a different browser if your current browser's not working. We've got two thumbs and loses to judgment. This guy right here. So the plan here is probably die.
Let me at him.
Yeah, the opponent's deck is super all in. Their deck is very bad against any of the control variations, basically. Anything that doesn't have a bunch of really tiny things for them to it doesn't have a bunch of tiny things for them to beat up on. Their deck's pretty reasonably polarized.
was stacked against us.
It's one that tends to swing heavy in either direction. One of those like 2 or 10 decks. If you're on mobile, it doesn't do Prime. Android on mobile actually does let you use Prime subs now. Jinx Draven. So discard aggro. I think Twisted Fate's red card's probably worth keeping here.
Anything else?
Hey, thanks for the 31 months, Dig. I appreciate it. Welcome back.
Here I go.
Here I go.
Help the poor.
No locks.
We see through all.
That's super unfortunate. Okay, we'll pass now. This is elusive, so it can block Fizz as well. That being said, The comment about Twisted Fate's red card being good is looking to be super accurate.
Anything helps.
I assume they're gonna hook these. So we're taking 9 here down to 9. That's fine. Need to deploy this other Fizz out here and then bank a couple of spell mana.
Deal me in. I'm a people person.
Goodbye, friends.
I have the best job.
Blessed by snow.
Use this warning shot to get in with Fizz this turn. Yeah, the character emotes are so well done. Do I have juice box in this lineup? I don't have juice box in this lineup. I think I loaded this out before the juice box emote existed.
Axes coming right up. Watch and learn.
Let's not ruffle our feathers.
Let's not ruffle our feathers. How do you feel about flash freezing this proactively? So that way we deny them an axe and this stays high enough to not die to random burn spells. I think I like that. I definitely don't think I can take a hit this turn.
An auspicious
It also triggers this, so we get the next card of our top of our deck a little bit bigger too, which is nice. Get that. Played around that masterfully, chat. Just like we drew it up. Getting rewarded for making good decisions. What is this wizardry?
Jinx stands for Jinx. Durr.
Durr. Jinx is gonna start making missiles soon, so let's just get in here. Fizz is gonna die to her super mega death rocket. Does 4 to me and 1 to all my stuff.
Time for the main event.
Is it better to pick a card to draw 3 there? Oh, I didn't have the mana, correct. Only had 2. I think I want to pick a card now.
God Axis needs victims.
charmed, I'm sure. Easy.
Yeah, if I had mana, I could have picked a card instead of warning shot ahead prep. I think I'm jumping with Fizz here. Is that crazy? He dies to the missile next turn anyways. I think I just want to keep my health total high. I guess I could put this here. I could, like, do this, but then, like, they could axe her, level her up.
No fear.
Just want to keep my life total high here. I've got a bunch of cards coming next turn. I'm going to have a bunch of mana. I'll have at least 2 lethal threats. Get excited. It's their last card. That's unfortunate. Losing one of my elusives here feels really bad.
Everyone goes boom!
I'm out.
Yeah, hopefully they're just dead to opens. We'll see what we draw, obviously.
Now it's a party.
Are we still just opening? I think we're just opening, right? Alright. Air Elemental. Super playable in Runeterra. Is that what that card's called? It's been so long. 4/4 flying for 5. Yeah, basically air elemental. Flying is busted. Please fix. Mono Kalista, so probably they who endure shell. I'm gonna mulligan the Fury in the north. I'm probably supposed to mulligan shared spoils here too, actually. I don't have any elusives, and my Omen Hawk is unlikely to connect early in this matchup, so these two are great though.
Achilles, where are you?
Where are you?
I must get out of here.
We see through all.
We see through all.
Oh, vermin.
Yes, I should attack here. So we'll get to go Starlit Seer into starting to pop off on these. These cards getting to stack up on elusives is really, really powerful. Ends games very quickly. Hey, this is another matchup, speaking of They Who Endure, where Flash Freeze is much better than Brittle Steel, huh?
There beyond.
So the attack with this here, I'm going to block an Elixir of Iron.
Fly away while you can. Blessed by snow and stars.
Blessed by snow and stars. So if we don't draw an elusive unit this turn, we'll definitely be opening on attacks.
These eyes see all.
And then these will connect and we'll get to shared spoils. Do I Brittle Steel this to keep this alive longer?
An auspicious season.
Well, it's not an elusive, but it's still pretty good. Speaking of pretty good.
Reel me in.
Twisted Fate's been lifting, chat. Hitting the gym here. One from Omen Hawk, one from two from Sears, one from Shared Spoils. The eye is over here, actually. So you can see on the left side when I mouse over this, it tells me how this stack is going to resolve. So there's a red card here, and they have a glimpse. So when I mouse over here, it shows me the ending board state, if I press OK, is them having a 4-3 and a 3-2, and it even shows them drawing 2 cards in their hand. So whenever combat's going to happen, or a stack like this is going to resolve, you can mouse over the eye, and the game tells you exactly how it's going to work. I think this is fine. I have this Brittle Steel, I have the Soman Hawk, like, I think we're still in a great spot here.
We shall not rest until all betrayers pay.
I could be right to pick a card there, but, eh.
This will be a good winter.
They have Fury of the North here they're thinking about using. So Kalisa levels when she sees 3 things die. I think I'm going to pick a card, my Fury here.
Shuffle.
I'm holding on to this for They Who Endure, one of their key cards. We've also got like 4 of these triggers in here right now, so like any elusive we draw is going to be an absolute unit. So Stalking Shadows here gets them an Ephemeral, so we could see them play the Ephemeral out here just to level their Kalista, because it'll die at end of turn. Remember when I said it was going to be an absolute unit, chat?
Everyone's a garden.
And then these are fleeting, so they're going away at end of turn. So we're going to have to play those this turn, which means the next unit in our deck is going to get +4/+4, which is very good.
The grove follows.
So when this attacks, it summons the strongest unit they've had that's died. So this summons this and it bonds them. So if I put this 5/5 here, and again, this is a good use of the eye, you'll see I only take 3 in this combat because the 5 that this is dealing here gets dealt over to here. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and put this here, and I'm going to go ahead and Elixir to keep this alive, since I need to play this turn anyways. It's use it or lose it. And then I'm going to go ahead and Warning Shot here as well before this dies in combat to their hooker. So if we draw another elusive next turn, it will be +4/+4, which is hopefully enough to kill them. Because I have 8, 11, yeah, if we draw an elusive next turn, they'll die. The second best draw after an elusive is probably Salvage, because Salvage will level Twisted Fate. Have I mentioned that Flash Freeze has been great? Have I mentioned that Flash Freeze has been great?
It was in the cards.
It was in the cards. Honestly, that's a good example of, I think, some of the power and flexibility of the deck that we're playing. Like, we didn't draw elusives till very late that game, and we were still able to execute our game plan fairly well with our little bit of interaction to keep us going. Yeah, I think, and this is one of the kind of the interesting things that we've seen as, I've seen at least as Runeterra has developed as a game, is how powerful the different, I keep Elixir here to keep Narwhal alive. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Elixir Mulligan, the others looking for cheaper cards. The power level and playability of specific answers in this game has definitely changed a lot over the course of the 3 months I've been playing, between like new cards added in the latest set, or even just like buffs and nerfs that they do. Flash, Freeze, and Deny are two cards that both come to mind as like, these cards were really mediocre at parts of when I played this game, and right now they're both stellar.
Raise your weapon, Sunwood.
Not deploying Golden Narwhal out here, because they'll get to eat him with the 3/3 because he's vulnerable. Yeah, the Lux Ash deck is great. I think you said you're not really a control player. I think you could probably split hairs and classify the Lux Ash build on my website as more of a mid-range deck, but it's close. And like, mid-range decks in general tend to lean more aggressive or more controlling, so I definitely think it's on the more controlling aspect, or the more controlling range of the mid-range spectrum. Yeah. But I agree that deck's incredibly satisfying to play. A lot of really good close games, and in large part, it's because the Frostbites are good.
The dawn has arrived.
Carry her light across the mountain.
Bask in the light's radiance.
Do I just buy tempo with this? I just like play this and stun Leona? She's gonna be a tough nut to crack when she starts stunning our board every turn. Yeah, they can force this to block.
Never lost a
So I think we gold card here, so that way if they want to force this to block, I can save it with Elixir and eat their thing.
Hesitation's a tell. All that glitters.
So our deck doesn't have what I would classify as real removal in it. Our deck is a tempo deck through and through. That's just looking to get on board ahead of our opponent. I'm just doing this and clearing their board out here. Your removal is winning combats with combat tricks. Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. Also, like, the best piece of removal in card games is killing your opponent while they have cards in their hand. So, like, our plan definitely involves doing that a lot of the time. This is not leveled yet, and when it does level, it doesn't stun right away. So if they play a Daybreak card here, we should still get a hit in for 6, which is nice. Their champion's going to level, but we're going to crack them to 12. And then we'll get to Fizz on their turn, and then we'll have decent open attacks the following turn, especially with Fury plus Warning Shot. We'll have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I think we theoretically have them dead in 2 attacks, so... So the goal here is to not die or lose units on their next turn, then we can kill them on our following turn. They are Targan, so like Hush is a card I theoretically have to worry about here. Single combat, sure. Hawk to start here. I might Hawk into Warning Shot Shared Spoils and see what we end up with.
Our strength is forever at its zenith.
Blessed daylight surrounds you.
They're out of resources here, so we could set up a good open attacks next turn. Omen Hawk definitely in the market to gain. Well, gosh, what if I just kill Leona? They probably have another one, right? I'm gonna save this to try and kill them. Just gonna take the hit here. It's kind of appealing to be a little controlling here, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Pretty sure we're just supposed to be killing them.
Here beyond.
So I'm gonna bank 2 mana here, or 3 mana here, sorry. Next turn we're gonna go up to 7, so we'll have 10 total. I wanna play.
These eyes see all.
I'm okay trading this here.
An auspicious season.
Believe or burn.
Okay, and then the hope here is that on their next turn, this Harsh Winds is enough to keep us alive. And then we get another attack step with these. Okay, that's another good one. It's not only good at keeping us alive, but keeping our board alive too. Which is nice.
Sunlight blinds.
So it is currently always sunny in Runeterra. So normally Daybreak only happens on your first card each turn, but the Day Spear here makes it always happen. So they could continue playing things out and stunning my board. But again, I think with Harsh Winds and this, we're going to be okay with that.
Devotion through battle.
Discipline and steel.
So the hope here again is to set up a... The hope here again is to set up a lethal attack next turn. Opponent very uncertain with what they want to do with this combat step, which is fair. There's a lot of permutations and ways this could go. I'm sitting on 11 mana with 3 cards in hand. Why'd they challenge a stun unit? Because this is lethal next turn. Yeah, all these decks play Pale Cascade. It's the best combat trick in the game.
This will be a good winter.
Yeah, I definitely want to keep Fizz alive here. For sure. Hoping to draw an elusive. Wait. So if I play this... If I play this, this just counters this whole thing, right?
An auspicious season.
Okay. Now, we are in a spot again here where Hush would get us, right? So if they have Hush, we're gonna get got next turn. That being said, definitely in the position of making them have it.
This will be a good winter.
They have a third Hush here as well.
Face my shield.
Blessed by snow and stars.
I don't know. I kind of expect them to change Hush based on the amount of complaining that's going on, but like, it's healthy for the game if my opponent, it's healthy for the game if my opponent's decks have counterplay to what my deck is doing, chat.
We rise.
We're so close, chat. We're so close. I hate to stun my things here. Not quite good enough. Sometimes they come a little bit late. Yeah, I agree, Crazy Duck. I think a lot of the things that Hush creates counterplay to are things that you want there to be counterplay to. Yeah, especially Lee Sin, especially. Like, is another card where you definitely want. Zed Katrina. Definitely mulliganing these. Opponent surrendered, sure. Sometimes life happens. Going for Masters. Not really. If you're new to the channel, a lot of what we do here is just play games for fun, so we try and play a different constructed deck every day. Last season, we ended up hitting Masters playing a different constructed deck every day. If we hit it, we hit it. If we don't, we don't. Yeah, I play games for fun. I am a dirty, filthy casual. Through and through. And here I thought you said you played games for money. I mean, if I only cared about the money, I'd only stream Magic. But life's short and there's more to it than money. I think I'm mulliganing. Is it crazy to mulligan Fizz against an aggro deck? I kind of just want to keep double Starlets here. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to keep him too. Just keep all the cheap units. I can just trade him off aggressively. Bezos subsidizing champion cards. Thank you for the 10 months, Dog and Alex. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Well, the sky is gonna be... This game is about to be pretty lit, chat. Jeff, please. 2-3 is a great stat line here against an aggro deck too. So you get to go ahead and get into combat here. These have triggers. They each deal a damage to me, but that's fine. So I'm gonna start the turn by playing Fizz, because playing Fizz protects this Starlit Seer from Make It Rain, which is nice. Yeah, beyond.
Like a fish in water. Hey, Zap, need a hand? Can't say no to Fizz.
My Zap's bigger than yours, Zap. Neener, neener, neener. A true skill game, chat. A true skill game. Easiest 60% of your life. Listen, either happens or it doesn't. It's basically a 50-50. Oh, I did have Fizz shoulders. What a punt. Punted the emote turn. It shall be my greatest shame, chat. It shall be my greatest shame. So, here's an interesting thought. Am I the control deck in this matchup? And if so, am I supposed to pass here? Like, with the third Starlit Seer in my hand and 2 spells, I feel like they probably can't beat me going long, right? I think I just want to pass and burn their mana.
Oh, come on.
Don't heckle me, Fizz. I think I want to pass. The aggro matchups are the understanding the who's the beatdown in the aggro matchups gives you a lot of play in this game.
Hang them by their entrails.
Have I sung the praises of Flash Freeze yet enough this morning? I feel like I need to sing the praises of Flash Freeze some more. Oh, that was dealing 2. That's fine though.
Ye started without me.
Alright, do I replace the Starlit Seer? Okay, what if I Fury of the North Fizz first and then replace the Starlit Seer?
Blessed by snow and stars.
Keep up.
Keep up, keep up.
Briny deep. We live here. You can't do this. We live here.
We live here. Excuse me, Zap. This is a Wendy's. I think I'm okay with these trading. I think I want to hold this to protect my other dorks here. They're all damage-based removal.
Store the rations, shackle the prisoners.
Morning, Jace.
My boat, my rules.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that.
It's a little scary.
Who likes their odds, eh?
Let's not ruffle our feathers.
Let's not ruffle our feathers.
Fly away while you can. This will be a good winter.
Love ya.
Perfect. So these are not only lethal, but if they try and target something, I get to elixir, and then this jumps up to 8. So then even if they kill this, these two are still lethal. So this saves this and leaves me, okay, you still need to answer this, but these two are also killing you. Nice. Every last resource, chat. Every last resource. They are shot and runs. Yeah, I agree. I love the types of games that this deck generates. This was going to be one of the decks that I played in the Duels of Runeterra event, but I just couldn't find a third deck I wanted to play. And without having a third deck I wanted to play, it just wasn't worth giving up my weekend to play in a tournament. Like I mentioned earlier, I mostly play games casually and for fun, so. If I don't have a deck that I really love, it's like, eh. Yeah, I decided to bail out Silence, especially after Riot announced their other better structured 3-deck format. Like the one Riot put up in their gauntlet was just such a better way to structure 3-deck, in my opinion. It really killed any desire I tried to have to find a third deck in a super restrictive format. I feel like Riot really did a great job of hitting the nail on the head with creating a format that would encourage diversity among your 3 decks, but not be super restrictive. Like requiring no region overlap between everything that you have going on just meant that there's so much restrictions on what you could actually play. Not allowing champion overlap or exact region overlap seems like such a perfect middle ground. No, so if you didn't see the gauntlet Riot put up, Riot over the weekend did a 3-deck gauntlet that people could join where the deck building restriction was you couldn't overlap every region of a deck and you couldn't overlap champions. So like you couldn't submit 2 Demacia Shadow Isles decks, but you could submit a Demacia Shadow Isles and a Demacia Freljord, so long as you didn't have the same Demacia champion in both of those decks. Yeah, exactly, Silence. The fact that, like, the format was kind of poop and they weren't well organized, I just decided it just wasn't worth it. No, it was really well done. You could overlap regions, but you just couldn't overlap champions. Really think they did an excellent job. Just attacking for 2 here. I'm gonna hold on to these to protect Fizz for the time being, I think. If they don't open on attacks next turn, we'll get the Twisted Fate red card and kill these, which will be nice. We'll see. There's a chance they open on attacks. I guess if they open on attacks, I block my 1/1 here. And then do this.
Never lost a fair game. Or played one.
Oh no, chat! I upset someone on Twitter because they're confident that Trump and the actions of his administration don't qualify as fascism. Oh, rats. Well, who will Twitter be upset with now? You know, I think I messed up here. I was too busy blocking someone on Twitter and I wasn't really paying attention. I should have, so what I should have done this turn is, I should have just let Twisted Fate die, because he's not going to level up anytime soon anyways, and I should have, yeah, I'm actually just going to concede this game and play a different one. I should have let Twisted Fate die, and then they take that attack, and they hook my 2/3, and then I could have Troll Chanted to wipe the attack off of their 2/2, their zap, and give my Narwhal extra defense, and then my Narwhal would have eaten their 3/1, and my Fizz would have eaten their 0/2. So, Twisted Fate living wasn't really a big deal. He's mostly there as bait, and I should have just let him be bait. Kalista, Elise, Mono Shadow Isles, so notably no Thehu Endure Splash here. Probably a Mistwraith deck. That actually, so because there's no Freljord up here, I think that means I mulligan the Flash Freeze. I'm going to keep the Zap as a threat. Hopefully find a 1 or 2 cost threat in here. Yeah, Mistwraiths are the big payoff for being Mono Shadow Isles, right? There's a good boy, even big enough to block the scary Mistwraith.
We shall pierce their treasonous hearts.
Pierce their treasonous hearts. They just took that hit there, so I get to Sharon Spoils here, which is nice. I get to play this 3/3 Omen Hawk, which is nice. This is a good start, chat. I believe our start might be slightly above average. Gotta go with the flow. Zap drawing Shared Spoils basically lets Zap draw a spell, which is sweet. This is not fearsome, so I think we just do this. And then the question is, do I want a Brittle Steel now? I don't think so. I think we just let these trade. If they have a deal 1 to try and finish this, I save it with Elixir. Well, I mean, this is going to keep its damage on it till the next turn, Kuma. So I'm aware that there's not a 1-mana deal 1, but this is still, like, going to be exposed to it for the rest of the game once I take that block. It's not, game's not like Magic where my units heal back up.
This would be a good winter.
Keep up, keep up.
Keep up, keep up.
We weren't expecting flawless. She's gonna be so happy.
I tried Teamfight Tactics. I have. I wasn't a huge fan. The game really is not beginner friendly.
We live here.
Let's not ruffle our feathers.
It did not hold my hand nearly enough. All right, so I think we go Frost or Harsh Winds, Brittle Steel, and eat all of those. Well, I don't mind a game that has a high learning curve. Like Runeterra has a pretty big learning curve. My issue with that game was that it didn't teach me. Yeah, like I don't mind a game that's challenging and has a lot to learn.
This would be a good winter.
Like Rune and especially after experiencing Runeterra and how good Runeterra's tutorial is, like I was kind of let down by how impenetrable that game seemed like it was. That ending Kalista might bite later. Maybe.
Blessed by snow and stars.
We're gonna find out. I got 2 flash freezes here, so I don't know that I'm that worried about it. About 40 minutes? No, in about 5 minutes, 10-ton hammer. So if I block here, this will kill this, which is great. And then I can put this here, and this here, and then I can flash freeze both of these.
An auspicious season. This would be a good winter.
And if they have Atrocity here, I can give this -2 power.
Blessed by snow and stars.
If they have a second Atrocity, there's nothing I can do right now. Oh no. Oh no. Maybe I'm just supposed to open attacks there. This game's over one way or another, so. A lot of good, really good close games today. Survey says, so this thing drains us every time one of their things dies, so if they can kill any of their own units here, they kill us because we're at 1. Are we just roping out because they came up short? They might just be roping out because they came up short. And they have a lot of things that kill us here.
Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.
It's a good if you're a card game player, you don't have that video on quick access. Let me tell you, boy, are you missing out. In my experience, Mid-Strength players are most likely to rope you. I love this deck. I think this deck's really sweet. I think if you're looking to play Fizz, as someone who played a ton of Fizz before Call of the Mountain, I think this build was far and away the best build of Fizz that I played. I think, I don't know that I'd change anything. Honestly, maybe even going up to 3 Flash Freeze is correct. I think this card is really well positioned right now. I think there's a lot of things that you don't mind wiping power off of that Brittle Steel misses right now. And, yeah, Troll Chant was fine. I don't know that I'd cut Troll Chant. I kind of like the split of tricks. So, like, there's a lot of 1s and 2s in this deck, which generally speaking means your deck's not going to be super consistent. But the way to think about 1s and 2s in a deck like this is we're playing a lot of different cards that all kind of do the same thing. So like Brittle Steel, Elixir, Troll Chant, Flash Freeze, all of these cards basically let you win combat in various situations, and they're all slightly better and slightly worse in different edge cases, right? So I wouldn't think of this deck as, oh, well, I'm playing a bunch of 2-ofs. In reality, what my deck is doing is we have 7 cards that help us win combat cheaply. And then we have, 3 cards, Harsh Winds and Fury in the North, that let us win combat more expensively in a bigger flurry. All right, at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and shift gears. For people that are new to the channel, if you're just dropping in from the Runeterra segment, welcome. Hi, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I'm doing Runeterra every single morning this week, and I wrap up with a little bit of Magic Arena. I also do some variety stuff, but if you're here just for Runeterra stuff, I'd encourage you to check out my YouTube channel and my website. I do at least 1 Runeterra deck every single day. When the set dropped, we did more than that, so there's a bunch of videos up there, so everything goes up on my website and my YouTube channel.